Alright. I am not too happy with the size of this when it is folded up. But just in case I decide to come back to it, I will make changes to it that I did take measurements for. And then I'm going to move on to what I think might be a more successful strategy. So, first, I'm gonna go into the sketch here. Which one was it? It was this one. And then I'm going to change these dimensions to be different. So 15 minus 4, because when I put 15 cards into this little box here that's meant for the extra deck, it was very, very loose. So I would prefer for that to be less loose. This is just fine as is. This is too long as well. That should be minus 8. So 95 minus 8. And that will make it the correct size to hold a 60 card deck with a 15 card extra deck snugly enough. But that's not what I'm here. That's not what I'm doing though. Or I'm not gonna pursue that any further unless this next idea comes out worse. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go into these extrusions here and get rid of this piece here, this little rectangular piece at the bottom, because it won't allow. What extrusion? That is this extrusion. Okay, because what I intend to do now, this is just slot the player 2 deck box around the player 1 deck box, because the collapsible version, the collapsible idea I had, it collapses. It is more space efficient to be folded up than for it to be open, but when it folds up, it gets way too long because one of these has to rotate this way, and the other one rotates this way. See? And so it just gets way too long, and I don't like that. So I'm gonna make a nesting design. So I'm gonna start off by just projecting this and offsetting it by 1.8, because that's 1.6 plus 0.2, and then I'm gonna offset it by 0.2. And then I need to come up with a way of putting a divider into this outer bit. And that will be done in some way, in a way that I think will be easy. I think. I have just realized both of these will need to have a belt clip. That shouldn't be a problem though. Not too much of a problem anyways, because the player 2 one, because it's not being used as a deck box but only as a way of holding someone's deck while they're playing a game, doesn't need to be protective of the cards as much, and so it can have more holes in it than the player 1 box can. So now I'm going to put a line here and here and here. Actually, let's do that. Stupid. Trying to chase down the stupid check mark there. Go ahead, trim that up. Delete these because they were never supposed to be there. Okay. And then I will extrude this much all the way to here. And so basically, the new idea is this one slides in and out of this one. See, that's the new idea. And then I'll come up with some way of doing the graveyard banish zone box thingy after I'm done with this bit. Now, because most of the time this one will be inside of this one, it's gonna be, I think it would be valuable if I had this much of a yes, constraints, whatever. It would be valuable if I had that, because what I can do now is I can edit this to have that, and that will allow it to stand upright, but that's not necessary at the moment. Now, the reason why I didn't include the back here for this extrusion here is because I intend for this to be able to come out to here in this big one, in this one, because this one is going to go inside of it. Its deck and extra deck divider has to be able to move to give space for this whole thing. So the idea with that is going to be a thing, but I'll go back into the sketch and I'm going to go ahead and project this plane and then I'm going to make a rectangle there. I'm going to make a rectangle from here. And I'm going to make it 1.6. I'm going to bring it all the way up to Y. Okay. Bring this to here. Okay. And I'm going to open this back up and I'm going to extrude all this again by like 0.2. And then I'm going to extrude. Oh, hang on. Go back into sketch. This has to continue downwards. That was the wrong line. And then I'm going to extrude start object here, distance I don't know, 1.2. Now I'm going to extrude all this stuff. Let me make the bodies disappear. Ah, I made a new body. That is unfortunate. Okay, hang on. Click on join. See what that does. Okay, and then this one. Okay. But also it should include this stuff as well. And now I can extrude everything else. What did I just do? Let me just there to be any holes. Okay, bring the body back. Start an object, and the object is wait a minute. Okay, yeah, so this weird. Okay. Extrude all this stuff. And then don't forget to fill in the gaps. Object, and the object is the plane here, and the distance is 1.6. So now that should give me good. Okay, so the idea here is that for this outer one, there will be this divider again, but it'll extend out all the way to all the way to the edge here, and when it is nesting, it will slide out to the end, to the back here. That's why I left the back open, because I need space to put the divider, essentially. So now I'm going to make a mid-plane between this plane and this plane so that I can mirror the features. It's this one, I believe this one as well, right? That should be identical, I think. And then if I make this invisible, I don't think I need, okay. What does that do? Ah. Yeah, it missed the, okay. So yeah, mirror this feature, this feature, this feature. Okay, and there's only 14 bodies. Alright. And then this can go ahead and disappear. I think I need to take the geometry from this sketch here and copy it onto here in order to make it behave correctly. But that is something I can do a little tiny bit later. Right now, I'm going to do the divider between the deck and the extra deck. So I'm going to make another plane, an offset plane from here. It's going to be 0.2 because it doesn't have to be that snug. And then I'm going to start a sketch on this plane, and I'm going to project this geometry, and I'm going to project this geometry, and I'm going to project this geometry, and then this one I will offset by -0.2, and that's well within the and then this one I will offset by -0.2, and then if I move it 0.2 again, that's still well within the bounds of the tab here. And then I will also offset that by the same amount. It decided to default to 1. Don't know why. Then this will go all the way to here. And this will go all the way to here. That's construction line, that's construction line. That's construction line, that's construction line. Connect these edges, or not edges, vertices. Connect these together. And I've got a box here that for some reason isn't going all the way. Oh yes it is, okay. Okay. And now I will extrude this box by a distance of 1.6. And that should create a new body. It does, okay. Another thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and project this as well, so that I can edit this to include that. Okay, so now I'm going to see, it doesn't look like it's sticking out at all, so that's pretty neat. It does look like they are flush though, so that is why I left this open in the back. So extrude this by 0.2. And then start a sketch on this plane. Wait, what? Yeah, okay. And then I'm going to project basically the outside of everything. And then I'm going to go ahead and connect these together. And then I'm going to extrude all this by 1.6 by 1.6. Okay. So now I've got a deck box resting in a deck box with a moving divider in between. And this hole goes all the way through on these so that I can put a belt clip on this deck box on the inside one that'll come out past it and go around it. So now I have to figure out the lids of these. I kind of would prefer a swivel lid, but a simple just slide on cap I think makes more sense for this design in particular. But I kind of had been designing it with an assumption of a swivel lid, so I didn't put enough space for a slide-on cap on there. I think a swivel lid on this one kind of makes sense. But then I gotta design another swivel lid around it for this one, which I can do, but it'll increase the size of it. But I mean, it's already pretty big. It won't increase the size that much. I think instead what I'm gonna do is that body is not necessary. I'm gonna go ahead and make this invisible. I'm gonna re-examine this right here. What got created? Okay, this was an entirely separate piece. That's how that was made. So the slot was already there. I just put the thumb hole in, essentially. Okay, so make the sketch here, and then make the very first sketch visible. Show dimensions. And then I'm going to project this plane here. And I'm going to go ahead and grab this orbit and also project these. Okay, that should be enough for me to get what I need. That's point A from point 8 from there. So this to here is 1.6, so that's this here dimension. So then, and it's perpendicular, so 0.8, and then that's 1.5. And then this is 0.8. Delete that. And change it to parallel with this. I can't believe I can do that. And then this is going to go up quite a bit. That's quite a bit of actually, I think all that really matters is that this geometry is present right here. I think the size of this is not necessarily too important. So I'm just going to go ahead and snap it there. And then I'll have to cut this. Okay. And what happens when I get rid of this. I have would that be closed? Should be. So if I take bodies and I make this one invisible, and then I extrude this bit, and then I make the body visible, and then I go to this, and it's a cut. And now the slot's in there, and I start a sketch here, and then I put a line, and then I project this, and then I put a line that's 2, and then I put another line that's also 2. Actually, this one might have to be a little bit bigger, because if I take the dimensions between these, that's greater than 95, so let's make it 4. And let me measure the distance between them again. That's 93. 95 minus 4 is 91. So if I want to shave off another 2 millimeters, let's make this 5 and 5. .91, that's my target. And then put a 20 millimeter line, that is a construction line. And then create a 3-point arc, this point, this point, this point. And this is basically a copy paste of the finger hole this is basically a copy paste of this finger hole here, except that I gotta change the extrusion to actually mean something different. To object. Oh, what? Okay, cool. That worked. Yeah, cool. Don't know exactly what this geometry here is. But as long as it doesn't get in the way of the other one sliding into it, it really doesn't matter. I think now I'm gonna do the lids, just so I can see how that'll work. Because I think what'll be kind of funny is that for the lids, most of the protection from the lid will come from the outer lid, but most of the protection for the rest of the card will probably come from more. It's funny because more protection for the cards will come from this wall than this wall, because there's a hole in this wall. But there will be more protection for the cards coming from this outer lid than this inner lid. So this will be 2 lids on a thing, and that'll be pretty funny. A deck box with 2 lids. A deck box capable of holding 2 decks in the space of roughly one deck, kind of, if you blink. So starting a sketch here and getting rid of these bodies here. A 2mm circle and then an offset of, I'll go 1.2 again. And this, we'll put it inside of there. But I do have room to work with inside of a little bit of this, because the shape of the deck will be 65mm. This is parallel with this line, and this, darn it. What did I do? Oh, cancel. Okay, I'm in the sketch now. Okay, and this is 42. And so that goes in there, right? So if I project this plane here, and then I make this and this. This is how much extra space I have to work with to put a lid on. So if I take a simple, super simple idea of just if I just make a super simple idea of just this, of this whole thing being the lid right there. Right, and the idea here would be I think I am going to stick with a super simple idea here. Change that. Yeah, and then so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to extrude this to this, and then I'm gonna go ahead and extrude from this plane to this plane. I can do that. And then to make the actual lid piece, so this, and this. From here to here, make a new body. And that should be able to get done what I need to get done. Except that I also want to extrude this to here. That's what I was afraid of. Okay. I also want to extrude this much to here. Then I'm going to go ahead and take this first plane out. And what the tools here are different. Why are the tools here different? Okay, let's see if I can. I doubt I can just pull this, but the operation would cause a large topology change. Try adjusting the values and changing the. Why would it cause a large topology change? Well, the direction I needed didn't do it, so that's cool. Okay. What? I hate when things don't make sense. Okay. And that should give me clearance for this. There, okay. And I should also probably pull that down by 0.2 to give it clearance on this side for this to slide through. And now, so far I have the inner deck box, the outer deck box, the deck and extra deck divider, and the lid for the inner deck box. And this will hold all of the cards in place. I need to see something now. If I now, the sketch should be on the mid plane. Because what I want to do now is I want to see this. I want to goes down, I'll call it 10. Okay, and then perpendicular, perpendicular, 6, extrude this. Metric, anything will work. So that is a tab right there. And so what I want to see now is when I move this and rotate it along this axis, okay, so that doesn't get interfered with. This right here, though, also doesn't get interfered with. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to this sketch. I'm gonna make this body invisible again. I'm gonna go ahead and I think a circle might work best for this. Four makes sense to me. No, it doesn't, because 4 after 4 is 2, and that goes too far into the part. So then I'm gonna go ahead and make this invisible real quick so I can project this plane onto the other one as a line, and then bring it back. Not this one, this one. So make a line going from here to here, and this line is 0.8, which is half of 1.6, and it should also there. Then I offset this by minus 0.2. And what is that? 1.6. Okay, of course it is. then I will put this on to put this one on here. I'm going to take the sketch and make it visible again. Okay. Then I'm going to go ahead and cut it out. Any amount. And then take this one and include this. What? 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 Okay. And then this one has the cutout. Okay. Now, does that work? Will that interfere with anything? Let me see. Move this axis here. 1 degree. Yes. Okay. That's actually what I want. I want this to go through this for a little bit so that it snaps in. And now I can experiment around with the size and shape of this just to see what works best. I also think that it might be best if I go ahead and fillet these a little bit. How far can it go? Not too far, obviously. And let's try that again. And let's go back into the sketch. I don't think I like 10. I think I prefer 5. And then I don't know if 5 has enough flexibility there to get it done properly, but it's barely going through it. I like that. And then let's change this fillet to be ever so slightly bigger. I think that's enough. But to be sure, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take, not this, right? Okay. This is going to be, that did not work. Okay. Two-sided, two object. Okay. this one is no longer is going to be two-sided, and this one is going to be to object, and it's going to be to this object, and then this one is also going to be to this object, and then on this one is just going to be all. And so now what I can do is I can export this body, and I can export this body as their own. Oh wait, hang on. There. I can export this body and this body, and I can see, and I can only print out, only about this, I can print out about this much length in the slicer so that I don't use so much material. And then I can see if the amount here is good to work with. So that's what I'm gonna do. This one I can just export straight up. This one, on the other hand, I do want to do one quick little thing. I want to make a plane down here, and then I'm going to go ahead and split this one with this, and then this one is a new body. I'm going to export this, doesn't matter, and then I'm going to call it lid body test, and then I'm going to go ahead and suppress this, and then I'm going to go ahead and export this one. This one matters a little bit less, or a little bit more. That's a lot of triangles. And I'm going to call it lid test. And I'm going to test if the snapping geometry of this lid works. And if it does, then I can change this back to what it was before, where this only went out a little bit, and this also only went out a little bit, because I don't want this to go all the way. I'm just doing this to make it easier on myself when I slice it, when I slice the when I slice these tests. That's all I'm doing. So I'm just making a test print. So now this one doesn't have to be visible, and then this one can be distance, like 5, make this one visible so it doesn't join that one, and then this one only has to be like 12. Right? So what I've exported is not these, because I don't need to export these, because it would be annoying to export these. And now I'll test if this little clip mechanism here works, and if it does, I will move forward with this, and I will put a similar mechanism onto this one. Although the clippy bits will be on the outside, but yeah. So that's as far as I've gotten now, and I'm going to go ahead and make those tests, and I'll be back to make more progress.